Well, as you can see, I am not at the Meadows yet, and I'm not jogging babies in Ohio. It was going to absolutely pour rain last night. It was my wonderful wife who brought it up to me. She goes, you should check the forecast before you leave to Ohio, because if you're going to drive 4.5 hours to Ohio in the rain, only to wake up in the rain and not go with the babies, what's the point of leaving tonight? Good point. The problem now is I left at 8:45 in the morning, which gets me to, it says I'm doing okay. My race is supposed to go off at 2:25. It says I'm getting there at 2 o'clock, which is a little tight, but I'll make up a little time. I will actually get there at probably around 1:45. Race Macho Martini in the mud. I don't think I can hide from the mud in the Meadows today. Race him in the mud, hopefully not the rain, but definitely the mud. And then head back to Ohio. Now tonight we have horses in Ohio. It's supposed to rain all afternoon, but might luck out and the rain may dissipate through the start of the card. We don't race till later in the card, which means I might be okay. And then tomorrow morning I'll get up and go with the babies at Northfield Park with Jason and Jason. I don't know if Jason McGinnis is going to be back tonight or not. I think he might be going to the Ontario sale again today. So there's that. Now, a little bit of an update with everything goes. So I guess first and foremost, it was brought to my attention that the exchange rate when we opened up the buckets for Lexington and Ohio is quite a bit different than the exchange rate it was when I wired the money to Ohio. And Wendy was very concerned, and everybody was trying to figure out what to do and how to say it. I said it's very simple. All of our clients know what the exchange rate has changed. If you're in Canada, you definitely know. And it's not a crazy amount, but it is when you're talking about $420,000, but it may not be much when you're talking about a share here and there. So I said it was very simple fix. Whatever the exchange rate was when we opened up the buckets, whatever the exchange rate was when I sent the money last week to Ohio, the difference, you're going to have to charge it out. And, I hope everybody recognizes that unlike other places and unlike other companies in both sides, thoroughbred and standardbred, we're one of the only ones, and I would like to think the only one, but definitely one of the only ones where when we buy a horse for $180,000 US, like King of the North Sister, that's what we charge out. I don't make a bunch of money off our clients and say, oh, no, we're going to make it $200 because that'll pad some of the expenses in between. No, I'm going to show you what the expenses are. I don't think there's any need for me to make extra money off of our clients. It makes no sense to me. I'm a client too. So, when it comes to the thin line between what is and what was, or what was and what is, there's no meat there. There's no, oh, well, we'll pick it up on the money we made buying the filly. We didn't make any money buying the filly. We brought that filly and all the other fillies and colts to you at cost, because that's what I promised I'd do. And that's what I like doing. I don't have to justify bumping up the price and say, I had to do this. And, I was at the sale. I charge everybody. My hotel room, my meals when I'm in Lexington or Ohio or anywhere else, my gas or my flight. That's just out-of-pocket stuff. I'm not making money on that. And you're my clients. You're clients of thestable.ca. So I don't need to charge you exorbitant amounts of money to go buy horses because we're the ones that have them. But I hope everybody recognizes that line is razor thin. There's no meat on the, there's no fat on the meat, so to speak. It is what it is. So as I said to Wendy and I said to Eric and everybody else, I doubt our clients will, people might look at it and say, hey, what's this charge? But they're going to understand that there's a difference between the exchange rate when I had to pay that money out, when I have to buy the U.S. money, because lots of it I have to buy. So that's where we're at. Unfortunately, it's not unfortunately, it just is what it is. And I think bringing it to everybody in the way that we generally do, a transparent, open way, and saying if there is a difference in the exchange rate between when we bought the buckets and when Anthony sent that money and wired that money to Ohio, we'll pass it on. It's pretty simple. When it comes to Ontario also, obviously, I told everybody what would happen in Ontario, and that's exactly what happened in Ontario. The horses were too expensive. And people might say, well, no, they weren't. Okay, I kind of do this for a living, and I'm not willing to pay that kind of money for those horses. I can show you my catalog for yesterday. Many of the horses I looked at, the only horse I was close on was the top end price I put on Triton Sealster. And it wasn't Carl, like I said yesterday. It was Denny St. Pierre, who I assume was Randy Zane, buying that horse. And they were not going to stop at $85,000. I just watched them buy a trotter for $160,000. And I was uncomfortable at 85, so I wasn't going to keep going. And some of the other horses, I was like, I'll tell you what, my top pick of the wholesale, I was 60% off. 60% off what that filly brought. Not to say she's not worth $110,000. Maybe she is. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was just too conservative. But as I said to you guys the day before the sale, I'm not adjusting my prices that I have on these horses based on the fact of convenience. And as I said to Harry yesterday, maybe there is some sort of convenience fee for not having to cross the border, not having to drive to Lexington or Harrisburg, being able to inspect the horses and not buy them online. Maybe there is something to that. Not for me. I'm not overpaying for the horses in what I consider an overpayment. And that's just personal comfort. That's not me saying, I know what that horse is worth. No, I do know what that horse is worth to me. And that's really what it is. It's a subjective value that I put on the horses. But I'm the one that does the buying for the stable.ca, so it really doesn't matter what the horse is worth, not worth, or otherwise. It's what I am willing to pay for the horse. And I think you're going to see a little bit of that again today. I only gave Danny and Amy a list of 6 horses, and quite frankly, I priced them super tight. Super tight on some of them. I really don't think we're going to get anything done today. So I contacted Wendy and I said, you know what? The Ontario buckets were moving slowly. I got to take some of the blame for that. I am going to place some of it on you, our clients, for not buying into those buckets, or Ontario clients, which is fine. It's okay. But I do want to open everything up because we do have one sale coming up in 2 weeks. And I'm not going to get to Harrisburg with 73% of a bucket sold. It's just not going to happen. So I need to start reaching out to the people. And quite frankly, it's the importance of this is exactly this. I don't want people overstretched. I don't want our clients to have X and spend X plus $1. I don't want them to do that. I am going to go to Harrisburg. I do plan on bidding on horses. And I guess all of this came about because some of the horses I looked at today have the same sire in Harrisburg. The only difference is I can almost 100% guarantee you they will not go for the prices they will today in London. I told you that when we left Lexington, if I entered those horses in London, that we would make a profit. But you can't do that. You can't do that. But I can almost guarantee you we would have. And that was only brought to fruition yesterday with the prices in London. You can see exactly what we did. We talked about those 2 muscle mass fillies we bought. They were undersold in Lexington. Or they were properly sold in Lexington and they would have been over-purchased in Ontario. Again, in my humble opinion. So what we're going to do today is simple. I contacted Wendy, I contacted Eric, and I said, open it all up. I'm going to keep a couple of shares of the buckets because I can, because I like the horses. Not only do I purchase horses, I tell you guys, I spend your money like it's mine. That's accurate. I like the horses I purchased. I liked one pacing filly that I looked at, and we got her yesterday. We got her for $8,000 less than I would have paid for her. So that particular horse, Mick Paisley, I believe, was underpriced. And that has nothing to do with the London sale. That has to do with the horse that I saw and the price that I put on her. And I did factor in, the only information I have to go by also is what was the sale average in Kentucky, which was extraordinarily high. You know that. But $47,000 US for McWickets in Lexington as opposed to $37,000 Canadian for one of the nicest horses I saw yesterday. I got no problem doing that. And as far as Great Bet goes, anybody that tries to explain to me how that horse was only $29,000, I am open. I am all ears. If anybody wants to explain how that particular horse only brought $29,000. If everybody hates the all bets off after one season that much, okay, I'll roll the dice on a brother to, greatest ending and en avant. Yeah. Yeah, I'll roll the dice on those horses. On that horse. 100%. At 29,000 Canadian? Yeah. I get no problem doing that. That was a horse that Harry and I found together. So we bought 2 horses, and depending on whether you agree with me or believe that I'm accurate or not, 2 horses that we got grossly undervalued in a sale where there was none to be found. And you've heard me say that before about Lexington. I'm not ragging on Ontario. There are high-priced horses in Ohio that we let go. There were high-priced horses in Lexington that we let go. So this isn't indicative of the Ontario sale. I just told you that the Ontario sale was going to be hot. It is every year, and it was. Again, my opinion. So we're going to open it all today. All the buckets are going to be open today. 90% of the Ontario A bucket was available. We're going to open those shares up. The other 90, I'm going to keep some, but the other 90, Partnership B bucket, I think had 50 left when it was all said and done. Those 50 are going to be up for everybody today, and I would hope that our Ontario clients step forward and buy those shares. I find it hard to believe. Now I gotta blame myself. I did not push Ontario the way I pushed Lexington. That's on me. But our base of operations is Ontario. We did some good purchasing, and there are people that said to me, "I'm not, the Pacers." Okay, you guys think what you want. If you think that we can't buy quality Pacers and get them to the races and race them in a competitive way, then I'm sorry. I'm just going to disagree with you. We're not racing elk or deer or some sort of animal we're unfamiliar with. They're Pacers. It's a feast or famine market. Always is, but doesn't mean you're always on the famine side also. And the trotting side's getting tough too. You guys know that. You saw what their horses went through at 2 and 3 to get to where they were. Oh yay, rain. So we did buy. We did, as far as the Pacers go, I don't care. Pacers, trotters, black, chestnut, gray, filly, colt, I don't care. Show me value, and those are the horses we are going to buy. And you guys should know that by now. The first year we bought a bunch of fillies, and then the next year we bought colts, and everybody said, well, you had a lot of luck with fillies. Why would you buy colts? I don't care. Show me the value in what we're buying. And it's not like I got a $10,000 Pacer that I thought should be worth $20,000. We paid $37,000 for that McWicked filly because she is a very good-looking filly, and she's got strong bloodlines. Great bet. Yeah, 29 was really low for that horse. Really low. And if it was the all bets off, fine. I'll gamble on a second crop sire. Yes, I'll gamble on him. He was a flyer, but you're talking about a stacked and packed pedigree page behind him. We're not going to the sale to buy our horses. We're going to the sale to buy horses for us. And that is quite a difference. Difference being, better get gas. Difference being, horses for us are undervalued horses. We don't have horses. We don't have stable horses. We'll buy any horses that are undervalued that I can make an argument to purchase. And I guarantee you I can make an argument to purchase both Mick Paisley and Great Bet yesterday. So when it comes to the Ontario buckets, they're going to be open for everybody today, and I hope everybody steps forward and buys them. And over the next few days, hail too, super. Wow. Over the next few days, we're going to start talking about Harrisburg, the last sale of the year. Please, I'm going to tell everybody, don't overstretch yourself to get involved in Harrisburg. Please, do yourself a favor. Understand exactly. I'm not going to fill my car up in the rain. Let's go back to this pump that's under the canopy. Thank you. Please understand that there's always going to be horses on the stable for everybody. We have something that no other stable has, and that's a secondary market where people can sell and buy their horses. If things are a little tight right now, or you think they might get tight getting to Christmas, then just wait. I don't want any of our clients stretched out and thinned out. That's not my job. Yes, my job is to sell shares, but my job is to sell shares in a responsible way to our clients so that we have a long relationship together. So Ontario, open today. Lexington, open today. If you did buy shares in Lexington or Ohio, you may see a bill, an invoice a bill on your invoice for an exchange rate difference. That only goes without saying, right? I can't be out that money. So, there's that. And then obviously, as I said, we have Harrisburg coming up. I'm going to be formatting buckets for that. I would like your input, if you don't mind. If you just take a couple of minutes and tell me what everybody thinks, what you think you'd like to see out of the Harrisburg sale. Should we have a premium horse in the Harrisburg sale? Should we have a bucket A, a bucket B? The B bucket being for what everybody can get involved in. The A bucket, a little more expensive. These buckets have to fill out. I cannot raise my hand when I get to Lexington with 70% of bucket A unspoken for. It just won't happen. For the first time in my life, when sale season is done, all the horses will be paid for, and I think I can do it on what we did this year. It's never happened to me before. I've always had to parse together revenue streams to pay for the horses, and it's always never been a problem long term, but in the short term, it's stressful coming into the Christmas season. And this, if everything goes according to plan, this is the first year it won't be. And I have you to thank for that. Thank you very much. We've had a great year, but without you, there was no great year. There was no buying the horses we had. You know, you remember where we got Carter Michael Dio. You remember where we got Spitfire Overseas at the Harrisburg sale. And I gave you the same speech last year I'm giving you now for the most part. If I don't have people step forward and speak up for those shares, I can't buy them. I can't. I have to be responsible myself. I can't ask you to be responsible and not be responsible myself. So that's where we're all at. I know Wendy was stressed out and she's worried. I said, Wendy, there's nothing to worry about. We don't make any money off the shares purchases of our horses. People know that. Just bill out the difference. Not the end of the world. When it comes to Ontario, it's okay. I'll take some of the blame for Ontario. But I would hope now that we open up those shares, I had a lot of people asking about Great Bet, asking about Mick Paisley. Thank you very much. And a lot of people concerned and are curious about the other horses. They're all going to be up there today. And I hope that everybody starts. Ontario is our base. For those of you out there that live in Ontario, that are Ontario clients, that want to see horses race in Ontario, those horses are going to be up today. And I fully expect and hope that our clients will step up and buy them. So that is a video for today. I'm on my way to race our boy, Macho Martini, in the mud. You know I love the mud. And then tonight, we have 3 horses racing at Northfield Park. Grace is racing. She did tie up last week, by the way. We've been working on that. It won't be perfect for tonight, but she'll be much better than she was the other day. Our girl, My Mini Miracle, is in. Who's the third one? My Mini Miracle, Grace, and I always find a way to forget one. Anyway, I got a lot going on. So we have a lot of horses racing this week. Kings County was awesome yesterday. Congratulations to the Kings County group. What a nice horse he is. Man, what a nice horse he is. And a number of horses racing again today, tomorrow, the next day. Drew Good in the Breeders' Crown final. It was funny. I had a call today from the race office. They said, you can't drive Carter Michael Dio. You own Crantini. I said, I own shares in Crantini. I also own shares in Carter Michael Dio. So, yes, I will be driving him. Oh, it's not showing in the system. Trust me when I tell you. I can send you over the ownership if you want. I own a couple of shares in both, and I will be driving Carter Michael Dio, in case you're wondering. So Carter Michael Dio, we drew his blood today. We'll see what that looks like. I don't foresee any shocks in that blood work. Crantini's coming in, training great. Spitfire Overseas coming in, looking great. Lifetime mark in his last. So it should be a good end to a great season. So thank you again. As I said, every time I go to bed and I think about what we've achieved and how we got here, it is not lost on me how that happened, and that is from our clients. So, as I said, Ontario will be up today. Everything we explained today. Harrisburg's coming up. Just drop me a note. Tell me what you think should happen in Harrisburg, what you think the bucket should look like. Should we have a premium horse? Should we not? Are we going to be short? I guess I can find out myself, but I'm curious on your thoughts. So, with that, I'll let you guys go. I am on my way to Pennsylvania. Wish me luck.